Phony. Phony. I'm totally weird. Gavin's hands. It's time for Gavin's hands.
The notion of agency, that we're not bystanders in the world. It's decisions, not conditions, that determine our fate and future. And that fundamental notion of agency, I think, is important more broadly. And I think that goes to some of the issues around, victimization. And I see a lot of that, respectively, on the right, increasingly, even with Trump often approaching things from that sort of.
Gavin Newsom struts in like California's James Bond, minus the gadgets, plus a gallon hair gel, thinking he's untouchable. Then enters Tyrus. Built like a linebacker and packing the blunt force of human truth bomb, Tyrus decides it's time to call him out. And when Tyrus speaks, even Wi-Fi signals stand at attention. This isn't just a takedown. It's a roast sharp enough to need stitches. Buckle up, because the showdown, it's about to get hilariously messy.
Tyrus?
What I saw.
Yeah.
What it looked to me like he was negotiating with a deaf prostitute.
Myriad of issues. I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor, down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days.
Before we move on, hit that like button and subscribe. You won't want to miss what's next. California is supposed to be the postcard of America. Sunshine, beaches, palm trees, and kale smoothies on every rooftop. Surf in the morning, star in a movie by night. But scratch the surface, and the Golden State starts looking more like a Netflix documentary gone horribly wrong.
Back and watch the tape.
Yes!
He literally goes, I want some of this, then you do some of this, and I'll do some of that back to you, and then we'll do this, and then I'll pay you, and then we'll do it again.
True.
And then she kept saying, no. Okay, how about this? You do this one first, then we do this one, then we give a little back and forth.
The streets resemble a deleted scene from Mad Max. Taxes feel like punishment for existing. And average folks are sprinting for the border like it's an Olympic qualifier. And there, in the middle of this chaos, stands Gavin Newsom, looking like he just stepped out of a GQ photo shoot. The hair says shampoo commercial. The attitude says he's never pumped his own gas.
Did he leave out anything? I think there's about 100 other reasons, too.
Well, it's not his words when he speaks.
Yeah.
You have to watch him closely. And some genius decided not to film him any lower than the shoulder.
Yes, did you? Yes.
So what did he do?
You couldn't see the hands.
No, but he sent more.
Newsom gives speeches like he's auditioning to play president in a Hollywood blockbuster. Dramatic pauses, sweeping hand gestures, and that signature smirk that screams, "Trust me, I know better." But here's the catch. While he plays California's leading man, the state's turning into the blooper reel. Homelessness is sky high. Businesses are bailing like it's an evacuation drill. And everyday people are stuck wondering why they're paying Beverly Hills prices to live in a real-life Gotham City.
I'll be in the car.
Yes, I think you've done enough this evening. You can take the rest of the week off.
Thank you.
Charlie,
We've all been there, right?
Yes, we have. Yeah, it's noisy in the city.
Every time I look, I just see him going. I'm sorry.
You know, another option it could be, because he's doing the whole rebrand with the podcast and he's trying to.
Enter Tyrus. No spin, no teleprompter, no sugarcoating. He doesn't rehearse in front of mirrors. He speaks with the grit of a heavyweight wrestler who's been hit too many times to care about your feelings. Newsom brings gloss. Tyrus brings grit. Newsom brings hair gel. Tyrus brings hard truths. So imagine it. Newsom steps into the spotlight, chest out, hair gleaming like it has its own lighting tech. He preaches progress, paints California as a golden utopia. But Tyrus sees a reality. San Francisco and L.A. now resemble open-air experiments in human suffering. He doesn't need fancy words. He just asks, how did paradise turn into the set of The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
He's negotiating with the deaf prostitute.
Yeah.
Let's just stick with that.
Yeah.
More likely.
Yeah.
Maybe you can fix California while you stop by. 2 shows, you should be able to do that.
Hey, you know what? Real funny. So the other night, I got like 3 weeks ago, time flies when you work. I get a text at 2:00 in the morning from the president who says, "Hey, bro, I just filled California up with water, governor's pissed, and sent pictures, LOL post. Who doesn't love this president?
And about those businesses, California used to be the place to make it big. Silicon Valley, Hollywood, Napa. But under Newsom, companies are fleeing like contestants on a dating show who just found out the bachelor still lives with his mom. They're packing up for Texas, Florida, even Nevada, because apparently paying employees less in the desert is better than surviving California's tax nightmare. Tyrus sees the obvious. If people are leaving paradise in droves, maybe it's not paradise anymore. Remember when Newsom told us to stay home, mask up, and shut down? While Californians rationed toilet paper and cut their own hair, Newsom was dining in luxury with lobbyists, sipping wine like he was Gatsby.
You can watch it. Look at the blinking. Blink, look. Meet me at the house. Like, he's blinking. He's sending. I'm getting there. Hey, just so you know, I'm not wearing pants.
Ew.
And then, look, he's blinking. And then eventually the camera guy, realizing that he's signaling him, so he gets appalled, leans back, camera comes down, and then we're back to this. I'll do this for you. You do this for me a little. So he's saying whatever he's going to say. There it is. See, they couldn't hold him back. He's like, I'm not on film. Oh, I'm not. Nope.
That dinner, it wasn't just bad optics. It became the poster child for rules for thee, but not for me. And Tyrus, he doesn't just point out, he rips into it. He paints the picture so vividly, you can hear the clinking silverware. While the rest of us were microwaving pizza in sweatpants, Newsom was swirling wine under golden chandeliers, pretending we were all in this together. Tyrus doesn't need to exaggerate. The truth is absurd enough to stand on its own. But he sprinkles sarcasm on it, like Parmesan over truffle pasta.
Well, speaking of full I'm sorry, I'm confused. He's still governor, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he could do something about it. That's the most irritating thing, is that why did anyone say with a follow-up where he's like, the homeless situation is ridiculous? Follow-up question, aren't you the governor?
Yeah.
Like, that's the difference. That's the difference between the radical left and President Trump. He'll talk about something as...
The fallout? Oh, it's delicious. On one side, everyday people nodding, finally hearing someone say what they've been thinking. On the other, Newsom's defenders scrambling to dismiss Tyrus as just an entertainer. But here's the twist. When a guy known for body-slamming opponents makes more sense than the guy running America's biggest state, maybe it's time to admit the emperor isn't just naked, he has no functioning policies. Tyrus doesn't need 200-page reports. He just points and says, this isn't working. Because off Rodeo Drive, California looks less like a dream and more like a reality show sponsored by duct tape and denial.
He's playing with us. Meet me at my house. You get mine. I get yours. It'll work out.
Paul, are they capable of soul searching? It feels like the party itself has no soul.
Yeah, I know. They have no soul. You know, it's a really interesting statement. If you just kind of, you can break it in two. He spends the whole first part of that saying, we lost because this. Essentially what he says is, folks, we were on the wrong side of every issue.
Tyrus sees through the glossy commercials, drone shots of beaches and skylines. He points at what they don't show. Encampments under every overpass, boarded up shops strangled by regulation. Families deciding whether to pay rent or pitch a tent and call it glamping. If dysfunction were a sport, California's playing the championship. And the hypocrisy? That's Newsom's signature move. It's not just failing. It's failing while pretending you're thriving.
Go up and say, listen, I'm gonna sign an executive order to stop homelessness, and here's how we're gonna do it. Bam, 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 done. The border, done. 5 days later, 99%, no one's crossed. They're standing at the border like, you go. No, that you go. Like, no one wants.
That infamous dinner wasn't a scandal. It was a masterclass in tone deafness. People canceled weddings, funerals, Thanksgiving dinners, while Newsom feasted on truffle pasta with lobbyists. Tyrus doesn't let that slide. He presents it like Exhibit A in a courtroom drama. Because people remember being fined for breaking rules or governor ignored, he mocks the scene so vividly, you can practically see the wine glasses and smell the hypocrisy. He doesn't need to invent scandal. It's already laughably real.
I know him very well. He's incompetent. He's a nice guy, looks good. Hi, everybody. How you doing? He's got some strange hand action going. I don't know what the hell his problem is. It's a little weird, to be honest. There's a little something shaky going on there.
I came into that recall campaign still arguing that all politics is local. I still had a romantic notion of that. I intellectualized that a lot of our politics and the discourse was national. I didn't fully appreciate how nationalized our politics have become. In so many ways, that shape-shifted a lot of what we're doing and who I am today. But this last year, these last 6-7 months, this is something.
Gavin, I know him very well. Someone says he's incompetent. Nice guy. Looks good. But what's with the hands? Newsom's politics have evolved, or rather, dissolved, into national theater. What started as local governance morphed into a full-blown personality campaign. And while he may still be figuring out who he is on the national stage, the last 6 months have been something entirely different.
Yeah, his hands are just weird, though, Tyrus. They're always doing funky things.
Yeah, I thought it had something to do with the California, budget cuts and stuff, since they didn't have a hearing-impaired transitioner anymore. I'm not paying money.
Here's the brilliance of Tyrus. He doesn't just rant. He makes people laugh while telling the truth. Because when reality is this ridiculous, comedy is the only coping mechanism left. He's not quoting spreadsheets. He's talking about real lives. Parents worried about rising crime. Families skipping vacations because gas costs as much as a mortgage payment. Homelessness making neighborhoods feel like survival zones. Tyrus isn't selling a political argument. He's echoing real frustration with a punchline and a smirk.
So,
A little bit of bubble.
Yeah.
No.
Nice.
Could you imagine if you were the sign person for the TV going...
No, he reminds me there of, remember the guy who did the sign language at Mandela's funeral?
California has endless resources and breathtaking beauty, and still can't keep the lights on during heat waves. The state brags about being the 5th largest economy, but people are moving to Arizona just to afford groceries. That's the Tyrus effect. He sounds like the guy you bump into at a gas station, shaking his head and muttering, $6.75 for regular? People hear him and feel seen that he's not quoting polls. He's voicing what they live. And the truth hurts. California isn't a model anymore. It's the warning label.
I was in the White House. This is one of the first things I would do. Clean up your streets. Instead of sending our military men and women out to other places to make other countries safe, make our streets safe. How is this an argument? If you don't like it, what's not to like? Other than that you have to tip your hat to the orange devil. That's the problem. Then you know what? Find a way to make it your own. No, you will not bring in 1,500 National Guards. We will only allow 1,200. And then call it a victory. Clean up your neighborhoods. Leave the politicians out to go out on the waterfront at 6 o'clock in the morning. But notice he wasn't filming himself.
That's why Tyrus lands. Not because he's polished, but because he's right. This isn't a white paper. It's a reality check. And no amount of charm, gel, or glamour can distract from what Californians see every single day. Yes, the sunshine is still golden, but so are the taxes. The beaches are still there, but you've got to navigate tent cities to find them. California has been running on vibes for too long, and Tyrus is the guy who just unplugged the speakers.